What's up everyone, my name is Zach, and here we are, my first ever Q&A. Yes, this is very late in the making, but I finally got the time to make it with so many movies coming out, and with this week kind of just being a slum since we're hitting the August time with only Dark Tower and Detroit coming out this week, I thought I would finally be able to do my Q&A. So let's talk about this, let's answer the questions that you guys have given me, and I can't wait to talk about this. It's going to be very much laid back, less editing, just more of throw it out there for you guys to learn more about who you guys are watching, and of course I love talking to you guys, and also after this, make sure to comment down below if I answer one of your questions. If I didn't, make sure to comment down below a question for the next time I do a Q&A, which will probably be 300 subscribers, and we're almost there, so make sure to share these videos and get them out there. Without further ado, let's get into some of the questions. So, coming from one of these questions is Samuel One World. He gave me a bunch of questions. We're going to get into them. Some of these people don't want their questions and names in them, so I'm going to leave some names out. But if I do put your name in, it's a shout out. Go check out their channel as well, guys. So, here are my questions for your Q&A. What is the most underrated film of all time? Underrated. That is a tough one for me because I think underrated, a lot of people have their own thoughts on, and there's a lot of films out there that, in my opinion, are very much underrated. Two films I'm gonna talk about that are underrated, and I think it got the critical buzz, and I think anyone who's seen it has loved them, but I didn't think a lot of these movies got a lot of love for them, and that's gonna be Green Room and The Nice Guys. Both films phenomenal. I both love them a lot, and if you guys haven't seen them, you guys gotta go check them out. They have some fantastic cast members in them. I mean, Patrick Stewart's playing a Nazi in Green Room, and The Nice Guys has Russell Crowe and Ryan Gosling. Both phenomenal chemistry to them. So really go check it out if you guys have not seen those movies. I totally recommend them, and they're probably some of my favorites of all time. Question will be most overrated film of all time. The most overrated film of all time, in my opinion, is Frozen. I don't care what anyone says, it's Frozen. And a movie that you've rewatched the most in your life. So there's a couple films in this. I have a general list of movies that I do rewatch periodically. One of them is The Incredibles, of course. I love The Incredibles. Another one is all the Toy Story movies. They're all up on that list. Monsters Inc. is also in there. But then there's some like Step Brothers where I rewatch constantly. Tropic Thunder I rewatch constantly. Pool is another one of those newer ones that I rewatch constantly. La La Land, rewatch constantly. But there's one film in particular that I've probably seen more than any other film, and it's a very long film, Wolf of Wall Street. Wolf of Wall Street is one of my favorite movies of all time, if not my favorite. And I have seen it so many fucking times. I cannot express how many times I've seen that film. It's a very unhealthy amount of times, but I absolutely adore the film for what it is, how it was made, and just everything that threw into it. I just love the film so much. I can rewatch that film almost every single day. It gives me some motivation to get out there. It's kind of like, I mean, I fucking love it. It jacks me up and ready to get on with my day. I just love everything about that film. Favorite games of all time. So, video game wise, this is tough because I love games. So I'm just going to name off something off the bat. Gears of War, they're just series 3 is probably going to be my favorite one out of all there. Last of Us, fucking love Last of Us. That is the first game that I've actually dedicated so much time to. I went through every single difficulty, both twice. So I've played that game so many fucking times. Uncharted series is also fucking awesome. Halo, I've always been a fan of Halo, not the newer ones. I'm kind of a fan of 2 being my favorite. Same with Halo Reach. Really love those games. Resistance for Sony was also great. I mean, Ratchet and Clank, Jak and Daxter, all those games. Super Smash Brothers was always a favorite as my childhood. And I mean, there's one game though that I think like I played a fuck ton as a kid. And it was when I was growing up, I was one of those fucking Call of Duty nerds. I played Modern Warfare 2, and I love the shit out of there. And all the zombie modes for Call of Duty, I still am into a lot. Online and story mode, I've kind of fallen back on, but really zombie mode, I am such a huge fan of. I will always play with my friends. It gives me for some of the best memories I've ever had of my life. Favorite movies growing up. I already kind of mentioned some. Toy Story, The Incredibles were 2 of my favorites growing up. Dragon Ball, I love Dragon Ball a lot. It's always been one of those things I watched as a kid. One Piece, I was a big fan of anime. Another one that I probably should mention is Spirited Away and My Neighbor Totoro. I always grew up watching those. Love those films. I don't even remember how I caught on them. I think they were on Toonami one time on Cartoon Network. Great childhood memories there. But I actually really like those, and that's what I kind of grew up with. And then, of course, like Finding Nemo, Alice in Wonderland, like any of the classic Disney movies I always grew up with. And then, I mean, if you want to throw in some childhood shows I watched, Ren and Stimpy, Angry Beavers, Rocko's Modern Life, Invader Zim, just a bunch of shows like that. And, of course, Lilo and Stitch. I can't forget Lilo and Stitch. Favorite superhero film of all time. So, favorite superhero of all time. I should have came in this more prepared, but Logan is probably one of my favorites of all time now. I love Logan to death. It's still my favorite movie of this year. Guardians of the Galaxy, the first one was fantastic. Spider-Man Homecoming is fucking awesome. Batman Begins is one of my favorite Batman films. I'm trying to think, there's a couple. Captain America Winter Soldier was great. The first Avengers I really do enjoy, even though I sometimes I think it's a little tad too slow. There's so many great superhero movies, but honestly, like if I was to rate, I think Logan is probably the best well-made superhero film. It's probably one of my favorites. But honestly, Guardians or the first Avengers, it just brought like everything I ever wanted. And then I mean Batman, I was a big Batman fan as a kid, but I hated Batman and Robin when I was a kid. I didn't even like the damn movie. I remember when Batman Begins came out, I did not see it till for like 2 years till after the film. Then the Dark Knight was coming out. I was like, oh, I should go check out Batman Begins, and I love Batman Begins. It's my favorite out of the whole Dark Knight trilogy. Another one, the movie that inspired me to love movies. So this is kind of a lot because I really have always been a fan of movies, and I mean like Toy Story. My favorite films of all time would just be the ones that throw me in there. Ex Machina, Green Room, The Nice Guys, Pulp Fiction, Citizen Kane, Star Wars, Indiana Jones, Toy Story, Incredibles. And then, of course, I think one that has really inspired me to make film is Denis Villeneuve. I think all the inspiration he puts behind the scenes of the filmmaking is what really got me in the film. And it's like with Prisoners or Arrival or Enemy in particular, are films that really just made me fall for what film really is. And I think a big thing I had to talk about, though, is TV shows. The one TV show that we really hoped is Breaking Bad, and that showed just all the colors and the hidden meanings they have behind the scenes and what they do and all these little Easter eggs. That is what truly inspired me to love film completely, and probably is the one thing that got me on board for film. These questions will be coming from Casey Knight. I actually did just a collaboration with him talking about Game of Thrones, and one of his questions is, what is my favorite Game of Thrones character? So, to answer that, I'm just going to say the Hound is one of my favorite characters, but go check out the collaboration. I'll put down the link in the bottom below. That was a really fun time collaborating with him. It was one of my first collaborations ever. I also have one almost on Almost Sideways channel, so go check both of those out. But let me talk about the next question. He asked, which characters do you think will die in Avengers Infinity War? Holy shit. This is a video I was actually just going to make it in general, but since he brought it up, let's talk about it. I might do another editorial later on, but let's talk about a character that I think will die. Character that I think will die. Personally, me and my friends were always having a discussion. I think Nebula is toast. I think Nebula will end up dying by the end of the whole Infinity War saga. I think Hawkeye is a very interesting one that you can throw out there. I think he's very expendable, but I don't think Marvel will kill him off, particularly just because I think if they were going to, they would have done it in Age of Ultron. I think Vision's toast because he has the Infinity Stone in his head. He's dead. He'll come back, but he's dead because of that thing. That's what I'm assuming. I think almost all the Guardians are safe. I think Rhodey is safe just because they were going to kill him off. They would have killed him off in Civil War. Any of the big new characters, Spider-Man, Black Panther, Doctor Strange, Ant-Man, they're all safe. They're all safe. I think Black Widow's safe just because they don't have a lot of female-centric heroes, and I think killing her off would be the wrong thing to do. I think any of the secondary characters like Wong or T'Challa's Guardians are all safe. Hulk, can't kill Hulk. It's almost impossible. You might be able to wound him very badly, but I think it's almost impossible. Thor and Loki. I think Loki could die in this one, but I don't think he will, because I think if they were going to, they would have killed him off already, and maybe he dies in Ragnarok or something. Maybe, I know he shows up in Infinity War, but I think there's possibilities that he could die, but I don't think it's huge. I think Thor, they'll just retire his character afterwards. I don't think he'll die eventually. So I think the two characters it comes down to is Iron Man and Captain America. Which one's gonna die? Will Marvel actually kill one of them off? Probably not. Which is sad. I actually do want to see them have balls on them and say, hey, we are going to kill off a potentially major character. And I don't mean a Winter Soldier or Falcon, because I don't think they're big. I don't think we've gotten a lot of attention to them. Winter Soldier I can see dying, but I think they would rather just throw him into the mix of Captain America. Besides Nebula and Vision, the only other character I see dying is honestly Captain America. I think it fits his arc, and I think it would work perfectly. Plus the Russo brothers are doing this film. I think killing him off would really finish his arc in a really good way. And I mean, you can bring him back down the line. That's what happens in the comics all the time. But I do think they're going to come. I think Iron Man, I don't think Iron Man's going to die. Just for the fact of Iron Man is such a big character. He started off Marvel games. Don't get me wrong, they might surprise me. I would love to see them kill Iron Man. I just don't think they will. I think Captain America is the one character they can kill off and be okay with and still fit for the story. and you could bring in another Captain America, whether it be a Falcon or Winter Soldier, and take up the mantle. But I think that's who I'm probably guessing is going to do. And like I said, you can always bring him back some weird way. It's a comic book movie. No one really dies. They can come back in some mythological way. But that's what I'm kind of guessing is either Captain America, Vision, and Nebula. I don't see Nebula making it out. I don't see her going to the Guardians. I don't see another character arc for her in another Guardians film. I think Guardians 2 gave us a lot of the rest of her character development. The rest she has is to kill her dad and get revenge, and that's really it. She's gonna, I think, this is something I've always told my friend, I think she's gonna end up dying trying to protect Gamora. Am I wrong? Am I right? We'll find out in May next year. And then what is this? What is your favorite Game of Thrones episode? So this is actually a recent one, and that's gonna be Battle of the Bastards. I fucking love Battle of the Bastards. This is one of the first episodes I watched 3 times in one night because I fucking love that episode. This is one of my favorite episodes. It's just a culmination of everything we've been building up to in Game of Thrones. The defeat of Ramsay, the defeat of just so much. It was so brutal and emotional. I love that episode so much. Just the high tension in there. I mean, Jon Snow, Kit Harington did a great job in there. The only thing I hate is when that Stark brother starts running down. He's not zigzagging. He's running in a straight fucking line. He could have easily survived, but I mean, whatever. It has to hold for tension. It's a film of all time that can't be a guilty pleasure. Let's see. I'm gonna have to say probably the worst film I've ever seen is either Assassin's Creed or Fantastic Four. And those are just ones that have been recently put into my head because I fucking hate those films with such a high passion. Fantastic Four I actually did a rant for, and I don't have the video on my channel anymore. I took it off, but maybe one day down the road I'll react to it because it was filmed really badly, but I was just ranting because I fucking hated that movie so goddamn much. I hated the editing. I hated everything. It was so damn boring. But Assassin's Creed, my rant is still on this channel, and goddamn, I hated that fucking movie. And the more I think about it, I hate it even more and more and more. It was really fucking bad. Rings was a bad one. It was mostly just bland. These are ones that have just been stuck in my head. I try not to see a lot of bad films. If I do, it's more of like disappointment, like Fantastic Four, which was actually just a horrible film. What are your guys' worst films? Comment down below and let's talk about that too. And then movie night also asked, what is my favorite YouTuber? My favorite YouTuber is honestly probably Chris Stuckman or Jeremy Johns. I fucking love both of them. Raka Raka is also very entertaining. And then of course, like I have other ones in here who I can give shout outs to. Movie Night yourself, Sean Chandler, Ryan O'Toole, Adam from Almost Sideways, Cody Leach, Samuel One World. I mean, just people I've always met on here. Those are sometimes my favorite ones to watch, and that's what I really like is just when I get to talk with you guys, and like that's what I get, and those are my favorite YouTubers because I actually get to talk to you guys. It's not like a Chris Stuckman who never replies back to people really, or Jeremy Johns. Like I'm never going to get to talk to them over the inner space. And then I mean, if I have to also throw another one out there, Flick Pick and the Schmoes Know. I love the Schmoes Knows podcast, and Flick Pick is very funny when he actually does put up a video. But those are probably my favorite YouTubers, and those are the ones I actually watch out for. It's very rare when I go and find a new one, and that's why I'm very appreciated to meet all you guys. Getting down, King Prime Knight asks, who's your favorite Transformers character and why? Now I do hate the Transformers movies, but it doesn't mean I'd hate all the characters. I actually really do like the Transformers themselves, and one of my favorite ones is Jazz and Bumblebee. Jazz in that first Transformers movie was one of the shining brights of that movie, and when he died, damn was I fucking pissed. But Bumblebee he's getting his own spin-off, he's still alive, and I've just liked how Bumblebee is, and I always liked him in the animation show as well. So I mean, I've always had an appreciation for Bumblebee, and it's just something from my childhood that I really liked about Bumblebee. Here we get to go. What is your favorite movie of all time, and what movie inspires you the most? So I kind of already answered the inspiring one, but my favorite movie of all time is Wolf of Wall Street. Just a little more to kind of gush about that. I love Wolf of Wall Street. It's a huge passion of mine. But if I had to talk about other movies, Indiana Jones and Star Wars, The Empire Strikes Back specifically, and Raiders of the Lost Ark are some of my favorite films of all time. I can always pop them in and rewatch them. I love them to death. The first Toy Story and Toy Story 3 are also there. Toy Story 2 I also love. The Incredibles is fucking awesome. I remember I used to work in this place where it was like a Peter Pepper pizza, but way bigger, Chuck E. Cheese, kind of big. And I used to be a buster there, but there was a room where it was just movies. Favorite room to work in, even though it was the most messy one, it was my favorite because I would pop in movies, Incredibles, Toy Story, or Spider-Man, and always watch those. And when kids would ask me to tell them, like, switch the movie, I was like, no, these are the movies I will watch. And Incredibles was one I probably watched almost every day, every single day I worked there. So that was like 4 months of pretty much every single day watching The Incredibles. I don't regret it because I pretty much know every fucking line. Where's my super suit? Yeah, one of my favorite lines of all time. What's your favorite band? So my favorite band, it's probably gonna be the Foo Fighters. I fucking love the Foo Fighters, but I can also throw the Who in there, the Rolling Stones. I fucking love all three of those. I've seen the Who and the Rolling Stones in concert, both awesome performances. And then artists themselves, I mean Eminem, Chance the Rapper, Black Bear, a bunch of albums like that I'm a big fan of, but I really can listen to any type of music. Country, jazz, rap, rock and roll, old school, whatever you throw it out there, I'll listen to it. One is my favorite Marvel or DC character. So my favorite Marvel or DC character, I'd have to throw out there and be like, if I was to throw both, I'd probably have 3 for each of them. So my Marvel wise, it's probably Star-Lord, Spider-Man, and Deadpool. I grew up actually with all those characters. Yes, I knew who the Guardians were as a kid, and when they announced Star-Lord as this new Guardians type of flavor character, because it was originally he wasn't in the original team, and I loved just how he was. And then of course Chris Pratt comes in and makes him on the big screen. I love him even more, and I think I like those 3 because that's what embodies my personality in real life. Throwing a little Iron Man in there as well, because I'm not rich. And then for DC, it's probably going to be Wonder Woman, The Flash, and Martian Manhunter. I love Martian Manhunter. I really want to see him on the big screen. I know we get him in Supergirl, but I would love to see him on the big screen. And then, I mean, Batman, between Batman and Superman, I'm always a bigger fan of Batman per se than Superman. Don't know why, I've just always leaned towards Batman, but I know people lean towards Superman, but that's alright. But yeah, I was a big fan of the Justice League animated show, and Martian Manhunter was one of my favorite characters on there, so that's why he's always been one of my favorites, and I'll always name him as one of my favorites. My thoughts on the Watchmen series coming to HBO. So, I'm a fan of Watchmen. I like that movie that Zack Snyder made, especially the director's cut. I think it's a very underrated film. That's that list. But for me, I'm actually really excited to see what they can do with the HBO. I know it's going to be drawn out and they're going to have to add some more stories in, but it's made by Damon Lindelof, if I'm completely correct. I don't know how to say his name correct, but I know he did The Leftovers, and I'm a fucking diehard fan of The Leftovers. So that's something that makes me really excited. On the Nintendo Switch. Now let me tell you this. Thoughts on the Nintendo Switch. I have one. First, I was kind of like, this is really cool, but I don't know how much I'm going to love it. I'm going to tell you this. Every day at work, I bring it with me to play it. I love the Nintendo Switch. I love Zelda on it. I love the Mario Kart, and I love Splatoon 2 on it. Splatoon 2 is so fucking addicting. I probably would be playing it right now if I wasn't making this. The one thing I'm a little disappointed in is I wish they made it a little bit... I wish it was backwards compatible in some way, where it was on the digital store where I could just download the games, because I really want to play Smash Brothers on it, and I'm kind of disappointed that they have not even thrown a Smash Brothers out or even announced that they're going to remaster it. I feel like they're just holding out to the next one, and I don't think that's the right thing to do. Just give us a remaster, hold me off to the next one, and I'll be completely fine. I mean, that's what you did with Mario Kart pretty much. Am I right or am I wrong? So I'm guessing if they're not going to do one, it must be coming out like next year if we're not getting a remaster, because I feel like they would have already announced one, but that's for a completely different video. What got me into collecting Funko Pops? These motherfucking things. I don't remember what really got me into it. I just remember I liked how some of them looked, and then from there it was like, oh, I bought the next one, and I bought the next one, and I kept buying them, and I remember the first one I ever got was a Deadpool one and a Venom one, which are somewhere in this room, and I think the Venom one's up there and Deadpool over there, but I remember that was what really got me into them first, and then from there it was like, if I liked something, I would continue to buy it, and I got really hooked into them. And now I've kind of slowed down a bit after Comic-Con. I really just want to get the ones that I actually do care about, and I guess we'll see. I'm very picky now with which ones I want. I'm really just looking for Game of Thrones and Walking Dead ones right now to just kind of tie up that set, because those are the 2 shows that characters die in, and then after that the pop goes straight up. So if you're collecting pops and you see a character die in a movie or a show, most likely that pop is going to go up, skyrocketing. Yondu is a perfect example. Yondu was like $5, and now it's like $35 on our websites because he died. Spoilers for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. I apologize. What is my favorite Funko Pop? That one, Hatbox Ghost, or Jolly Roger. Those are 2 of my favorite ones I've ever found. And then this one up here is also one of my new favorites, and that is going to be the Ren and Stimpy. There's only 2,500 of these made. Ren and Stimpy was one of my favorite shows as a kid, but I love this. It was one of the San Diego Comic-Con, and I'm just really happy I got this one. I got it for retail price. I was fucking lucky for this one. And, you know, that's one of my favorite ones as of right now. And then I love these ones as well. I love Captain America. I love the Tick. I have Man-Bat up here, a Neomorph. I have so many pops. God, I have a video I'm going to be doing where I go through the whole collection soon. maybe at 300 subscribers. I'm almost there, so get me 300, maybe we'll talk about more Pops. Guys, that's gonna be my Q&A. This was a lot of fun doing. My throat hurts a lot from talking about this, but I gotta go, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching this, though. If you guys have any more questions, comment down below. If you have your own answers to these questions, comment down below and let's all talk about them. There's so many questions that I got to answer, and so many questions I actually had a lot of fun answering. This was a great time. I had so much fun doing this, and I hope to do another Q&A soon, guys. We're almost at 300 subscribers. Thank God, we're almost there. We're moving forward. My goal is to hit at least 400 by the end of the year. So we'll see if we get there. If we don't, oh well, I'm just happy to be talking to the guys I know here. But other than that, guys, look out for some reviews this weekend. I can't wait to talk about them. And other than that, guys, thank you guys so much for watching.